starting off with the men. They'll be working in triplets. 175 snatches ground to overhead. Basically, it's 75 pounds, 55 for the women. The men will move on to 25 rope climbs and finish with 115 thrusters, the weight 115 and 75. As the men go out, the women can file in, and we've seen this over 2 weeks and 2 heats. It's unleash the beast. These men need to get out and get out fast.
Oh, I like that. Unleash the beast. It's exactly what they need to do. They need to throw caution to the wind, go out there and not be afraid to be a little bit out of breath once they hit that rope, because you want to get the ladies on the floor.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Heat number 3, the third and final heat for team competition, day number 1 for the 2015 Meridian Regional, as action is starting to heat up. Men will tackle 175 power snatches at 75 pounds. That these guys start ripping through these. Might as well be a barbell.
Absolutely. I mean, it's barbell kettlebell swings the way it looks with these guys. They're effortless moving through them. Now, we are seeing a lot of muscle snatches, and in order to be fast enough to get through this, they're going to have to. It's not a weight that should give them any trouble, so muscle snatch it, move the bar forward, get somebody else on the bar. That's it. That's the way to go.
Quick transitions in between the teams.
That's Numi Katarinason from CrossFit Nordic, who's been, like we said before, he's been to the games before, seasoned athlete, and he's going through these, but he needs to move fast to keep up with the rest of the team. Here you go.
Top teams working through 175-pound snatches as we are already past the minute mark. The best split for the event record set by CrossFit New England in the East Regionals, as these men are trying to get ahead and off the floor for their women. 5:15 was the split we saw. We've seen faster splits around the world. Even in Heat 2, we saw faster splits for a group of men. But it'll come down to the women if they want to get that time of 18:37.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting to be able to measure the men on the floor against each other, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter all that much because it's all about the ladies.
They'll get their shot a little bit later in the competition coming up this weekend, so it's not all about the women all weekend.
No. This is really well balanced. Dave has done a fantastic job of just kind of weeding out where is it your weakness is as a team. Is it on the male side of the house, the female side of the house? Is it one athlete? Is it several athletes? Or is there a skill set that you just don't possess? Because we've got everything coming your way.
2 minutes in, 25-minute cap for team event number 2. The best time was set in heat number 2, Spartan Mentality, with a time of 20 minutes, 19.5 seconds. Rounding out your top 3, 21:52. So as these teams, yes, an event record would be nice. The event records are sexy. But it's really about the competition that you are competing against while you are here at the Meridian Regional. 2019 is what stands between them and a first-place finish.
Absolutely, and I mean, you're going to find a lot of teams. I was back there talking to some of them before, and I was asking, so how do you feel about event records? Is that something that matters? And they're, no. We want to get through this. We want to qualify to go to Carson, but we also do not want to get banged up. We want to be able to get back to practice, preferably on Tuesday and Wednesday again, with a ticket in our pockets. So they're not too worried about it, but then again, they're all going to say that, but they would love to beat some of these other event records.
Teams are moving their way past 100 total reps into their final set of 75. CrossFit Solid in lane 6.
That's Lester Lanner, also known as Rickard Lanner, who was one of the integral parts of the Team Tegan team last year. Just a strong beast of a man.
The power of the stash compels you, as we'll move into the final set of 50 power snatches, and almost maybe the complete opposite. Well, we'll just throw a flower in our hair.
Well, why not? And it's kind of like the Beauty and the Beast. The guy has got the flower in the hair. He's got the funky Batman tights on. His name is Felix Ledin, and he is fast. I mean, this guy's been competing a long time, both at regional level and smaller shows. He always does very, very well. So don't let the flower fool you. It's a Jedi mind trick, and he's about to kick somebody's ass.
We're about 4 minutes into team event number 2, the third and final heat. As male teams working into their last set of 25 reps. They're moving from 125 to 150 with their final set. And teams starting to transition. So your top teams, 6 and 7, CrossFit Solid, CrossFit Turicum.
And CrossFit Turicum have got Jonas Müller right there on the right-hand side of your screen on the barbell right now. He could have been here as an individual athlete, chose to go team. He's been here before as an individual athlete. I mean, he's out there creating some space for these guys. And then he's got Benny Bachmann in the middle of the pack right here, like we talked about before. Seasoned competitor. I'm looking forward to see how these guys do. But you've got Richard Lana right next to him. I love to see that dude just tear that barbell off the ground.
The first male team is going to be Solid or Turicum. And it looks like it'll be everybody.
Nordic.
It'll be everybody. So Nordic just ahead as they're right around all on the 5-minute marks. We have 4 or 5 teams under event record pace.
Yes. And speaking of unleashing the beast, now the guys are on the rope. The girls have made it onto the floor. And CrossFit Nordic does have Patricia Strenius, who is a weightlifter, but she's got an engine. We've seen her as an individual athlete here before. She did a lunge, the lunge part, the front lunge part of the regional in 10 seconds.
Oh.
It is the fastest thing I've ever seen. And she's on the barbell in the Nordic team. And I think that may be a good thing for them. They need that.
Nordic Alpha, all yellow tops, black tights, standing or done with 25. So they're moving up, as well as Solid. Solid's trying to keep pace. They're sitting in lane 6.
And we saw it before. I mean, we're not calling anybody out here and saying these are the ones that are going to run home with it. The Spartan mentality was just kind of playing it cool until the ladies got on the floor, and then they just tore a hole in the universe.
Male teams working through 25 rope climbs. The ascent is 15 feet high, touching the crossbeam before they slide back down the rope. Again, they must show control at about the 9-foot mark.
And that's Helena Falk right there, one of the CrossFit athletes who was also on the team on Team Tegan last year. She's a seasoned athlete, also a boxer, so may want to have to watch out what I say here.
Just past the 6-minute and 30-second mark. Our next time check that we're looking for will be on the women's side. The best time in the world set by New England. Their time check after snatches was 10:37. So in the top left side of your screen, you see that 7-minute mark for the teams. So 10:37 is our new time check. We're trying to see if they can keep on pace for that event record.
Exactly. And here we got Patricia Strenius in the yellow t-shirt, black pants. She's the weightlifter I was talking about before, who is an amazing individual athlete as well. I'm expecting her to take a big chunk of those snatches for the team.
As we survey across the competition floor, Yas in event 1 snuck out ahead to take a victory there. But a little bit more on Team Yas. Let's throw it to Amanda.
Yep.
Chase and Mads, I think this is a team that we need to keep a close eye on this weekend. Now, last year, the team members competed in different regions. They were in Europe, Australia, and the Northwest. So they're a new team. I think they're a force to be reckoned with. One of the main reasons, they're women. So they competed in the Africa Regional. In the Open, their 3 women finished 1st, 2nd, and 10th. So let's keep a close eye on them this weekend.
That is
So how about that dark horse?
I mean, maybe not a dark horse anymore.
So
I'm happy I called it to start with. No, but I mean, that is what this is all about, having a balance as a team. You can't just show up there with a good female side of the house or a good male side of the house. They need to match each other. And so it looks like the Yas team is fairly well balanced.
Team Yas at lane number 4 took the early win in team event number 1. Fabriken next to them in lane 5 was 2nd. The early leaders, Nordic in lane number 9, far right side of the screen. Turicum in lane 7 in the all yellow top, Solid in 6 in the black. We had about 5 teams come off the snatches for the men, all within 2 seconds of each other.
Yep. And see, we just saw the Team Nordic athlete. He didn't get a touch that on the crossbeam that his judge liked, and so he had to go up again. That may just cost him the lead, because remember, it was close. coming off of those snatches, it was very close going on to the rope climbs.
Yas in lane 4 on their final rope ascent. Nordic done. So Nordic and Yas, men are off the ropes and onto the thrusters. We said doing their job. Just get out of the way so that your women can just blow through this.
Exactly. Don't make the women have to stop for anything. If you're doing that, then you're sure you're not winning the event.
Past the 9-minute and 30-second mark, slowly approaching that 10:37 time check. So we saw the event record set by CrossFit New England last weekend at the East Regional. Their women had finished 175 snatches at 10:37. They've done it in 5 minutes and 22 seconds.
It's just amazing. It is amazing. I mean, it just goes to talk about the strength they have in that team. I mean, it is a statement that, you can't ignore. There's just no way about it.
Yas and Nordic, your early leaders onto the thrusters. They have 115 thrusters to complete at 115 pounds. And first to the rope.
CrossFit
Check
Meridian.
this out. 10:10, 27 seconds ahead of event record pace. But it is to note, CrossFit New England was not the first team to the rope, but they were the fastest team in the world on the rope climbs, done in 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, the first rope climbs here by the CrossFit Nordic team do look fast. Camilla Solomons and Hellman just ran up the rope.
So Nordic and Yas, as well as in lane 2, Rikovic, back in the mix for one of the top teams.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's going to be a long, long, cold winter before I count out an Icelandic team. It's not going to happen.
Past the 11-minute mark, these men are just doing their jobs as CrossFit Solid moves up next to Turmeric, making sure they finish, and they will. It'll be pretty hard for the men to go too slow on these thrusters.
Absolutely. I mean, you'd have to go incredibly slow to not be able to knock those out of the park before the girls are done on the rope. But at the same time, you want to keep a good pace so you maintain that momentum and feel good as a team. Feel as if you're on the ball. You're feeling strong. You didn't just, front squat and push press it.
Yas in the blue shirts, black shorts, your early leaders. But with them, Nordic. So Nordic and Yas going back and forth between the two. And we'll have to see is how are their women going to battle on these rope climbs.
Absolutely. And how do they do on the thrusters? Because, I mean, right now, look at the Team Toricum in the yellow T-shirts, middle of your screen. They're climbing up just a little bit towards Yas and Nordic. But it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, this is about what the women are going to be able to bring to the floor after the men. So the Yas team looking strong. And it's impressive to have a mix of people who competed in the U.S., they competed in Africa, they went to Australia. They're from everywhere.
Your women on the rig, battling it out for 25 rope climbs, 15 feet. Nordic on the left in the yellow tank tops, black tights. Yas on the far right wearing the blue tank tops and black tights. So bracketing the rest of the field, Nordic and Yas are your top teams, both under event record pace so far.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see when it gets to the thrusters. Are they going to be able to do what New England did and just go absolutely crazy on them?
Yas men on their final set of 15 thrusters, but what the women's time chasing, 18:37, the event record set by CrossFit New England. As we are at 13:15. Your time check is at the top left side of your screen. Our eyes will be on the next transition from rope climbs to thrusters for the women. The time check for New England was 14:52, so we're about a minute and a half away to see have they fallen off pace or yet improved upon that pace, because they're about 20 seconds ahead going into the rope climbs.
Exactly. And I'm sitting here looking at the ladies from Yas. Typically 2 pulls and they're at the bar, and I'm looking at the Nordic team and they look like they're averaging 3 pulls to get to the crossbeam. That's going to play a huge role when it's up to 25 rope climbs.
14 minutes into a 25 capped event. Team event number 2, the time to beat, Spartan Mentality 2019.5. They're about 6 minutes away from that time. We need to check that time of 14:52. That is 30 seconds away to see if Yas or Nordic.
So Yas is the referee at Yas, or the judge at Yas has his hands in the air. Yas has crawled across. They've taken the lead by the ladies just being faster on the rope than CrossFit Nordic.
2 more rope climbs to go for Yas, 4 more rope climbs to go for Nordic. So Yas moved up just ahead, and we're talking a couple rope climbs. It might be 2 reps, so that's about 10 to 15 seconds.
Absolutely, which then translates to, if you're lucky, approximately 10 thrusters. And is Nordic going to be able to catch that?
Yas is off the rig and on to the thrusters. They are 8 seconds off event record pace, right at 15 minutes, where Nordic is still on the rig with 1 more rope climb to go. And they will join Yas, and we're going to have a little bit of a race on our hands between Yas, Nordic, and here comes CrossFit Solid.
And CrossFit Solid is no joke on the thrusters. Look at Amanda Frendian. Well, this is Camilla Solomonsen Hellman from CrossFit Nordic, and she's no joke on the thrusters either.
Yas in lane number 4, about a 5-rep lead on Solid and Nordic, and joining with them, CrossFit Turrican. So the ladies have moved their teams back into position for a possible event record. They are on a breakneck speed as we are approaching the 16-minute mark. The event record set by Cross in New England, 18 minutes and 37 seconds. They have 2.5 minutes to challenge that.
And so CrossFit Nordic has Patricia Strenius on the thrusters, and she is making short work of those thrusters. It looks really good. She is a weightlifter. She's right there in the right on the right-hand side of your screen. She is a weightlifter with a lot of potential. So weightlifter with an engine.
Yas on the left in lane number 4 in the blue and black.
And Yas are also making short work out of this. Just a fast transition on the bar, fast, snappy reps. I got to tell you, Yas are looking good.
2 minutes before that event record, but more importantly is which team may get it, because Yas on the far left and Nordic on the far right in the yellow and black are your top 2 teams going back and forth, and Yas has moved in, so they are done with 60 reps, so they are past the halfway mark for 115-pound thrusters. So Yas in the blue and black center part of your screen, just past 17 minutes. They have 90 seconds, but 45 more reps.
And Yas are looking strong. I mean, just look at those reps right there. She was just told to drop the bar, good communication, fast transition onto the next athlete, and that's exactly, oh man, that was fast.
Yas, 17 minutes and 30 seconds in. They're on the far right side of your screen, your early leaders, but Nordic is still keeping pace in the back right, yellow top, black shorts. The event record is 1 minute from now, and they have 25 thrusters remaining, so it's gonna be close. As Yas has moved in from the 80 to 100 rep, they have to get to 115 before that time can stop.
And I mean, they're keeping up the pace. They're still looking really fresh. Fast transition on the bar, and that's all it is. As soon as your cycle time comes down, hand it off to somebody else.
It's going to be close. It may not be event record, but it is the time to beat 2019. That is definitely going to get smashed. Yas with 3 more reps remaining before they get to 100. So the event record appears to be safe, as Yas has 15 thrusters to go. But Nordic in the backside of your screen in the yellow tank top, black tights, are about 10 reps away.
And then you've got CrossFit Solid. They may creep up. I mean, they're going so incredibly fast. You can see him right there. It's Amanda Frendian on the bar one more time, and she's just strong and fast.
3 reps remaining from Yas. So Yas, as a dark horse winner in team event number 1, may not be a dark horse anymore, as they will claim a back-to-back victory for team events 1 and 2.
And we